Good afternoon, everyone. I want to share my experiences how, and my journey towards clearance of this exam. Also, what is not clear in the social auditor that I also want to highlight or discuss. So, if anyone knows that it's a group sharing, so it's nothing like that. I'm dictating something. It's an interactive session. Uh, so we can discuss wherever I'm lacking. Please let me know because it's a very new concept going on. So as I shared also on my WhatsApp via WhatsApp, just to background how I want to structure it is that social auditor, that the audit requirements, what are the benefits, little background of this. I'm not touching upon the social stock exchange, that is a study material basically, right? And then what are the clarities yet to come as per my understanding where I am not clear, and then exam preparation and approach. So is this fine to proceed with the five areas we will cover in 30 minutes? And regarding this, it has been given that there are 31 lakh NPOs registered in India. That is every 400 Indians, one NGO is there, right? They may be, these are the registered NGOs, but now numbers might have increased. So because of this and to make the funds available to increase the trust confidence of the investors, this concept has been brought out. This concept is brought out basically by the government long back in 73rd amendment of the constitution. When it is was the Panchayati Raj is coming, then in the Rajiv Gandhi government, at that time the social audit concept was there. Now they have strengthened this by giving the recognition to the social auditors as well as building up the platform where the NGOs can raise the funds by measurement of the social impact also. What is the outcome of their doings? So this 73rd amendment is nowhere written in the books. So coming back to the audit first, that what the auditor is required to do. So these are audit. They have made the audit mandatory and audit of the AIR, annual impact report. So all the registered entities or the listed entities, the social enterprise, they have to make the audit compulsory from the social auditor, and its social audit firm has to make the social audit, not the social auditor. So at one place they have mentioned that is a part of curriculum, but they have made the uh, social audit compulsory for all the registered or listed SCs with the social stock exchange. This is non-mandatory also, but what will it give the NPO NGOs who are not eligible for registration under stock exchange? So it is not mandatory for them to go for social audit. But if they start doing this, they can build the confidence of the donors. Okay, our reports are also audited by the social auditor. So there is a minimum requirement of 3 years experience of the social enterprise to be in existence. So till 3 years also they may go to the social auditors, and CEO motto they can ask the audit of their programs or projects. That will give the confidence to the donors, so the donors can come forward and they can donate more and more to the organization, to the NPO. So that is the major benefit of the social audit. And where I am forcing this, that if this program goes well, so it is much beyond the normal social stock exchange or normal big enterprises. Even small NGOs will go for the social auditor. Even they can mention while making the financial reports, they can also discuss and they can also issue the social audit reports. And this might benefit in future also to have keep their track record while they are planning to register or listed on the social stock exchange when they complete the 3 years. So investor confidence will increase. That is the benefit. More disclosure is there. Transparency will increase. Responsibility of the members of that social enterprise or the NGO NPO will increase because they are more conscious that whatsoever program they are running, so every penny is wisely spent on the program. And what is the outcome? Because the outcome is measurable whether in the qualitative term or quantitative term. So before injecting a program, they have to identify the criteria, what the difference they are creating. So there are the 17 areas identified by the United Nations where the social development goals are there, and 16 areas are identified by the our institute or the Niti Aayog. So there is a difference between these development goals, but these development goals almost cover all the welfare activities run normally by the NGOs. Then exam preparation, the main where we are all going to. अब इसमें एग्जाम प्रिपरेशन में पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग बड़े इजीली, इट्स वेरी इजी फॉर मी टू से बॉस मैंने पास कर लिया है, राइट, एंड इट्स वेरी इजी, जाओ दे के आओ, पास हो जाओगे। पर पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा, हाँ, मिनिमम 12 से 16 घंटे। आई कैन से इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट यू टू प्रिपेयर फॉर 2 months, 1 month और 15 days। A regular study of 12 to 16 hours minimum is required. Rest is up to your grasping power, that how much we can do. But in one go, if we can do or one go or two go or three go, if we can go to the study, then we can easily appear in the exam. And if again the luck and all these things will contribute, then we will crack the exam normally. What is required for that? We first have to read, right? What we have to read? There is study material, first of all, that these are the study materials so far available on the public domain, right? Some of the study material is also now building up on our group, that is admin by created by Mr. Anand, and he has also shared yesterday some MCQ, very good MCQs he has submitted, the one liner. uh, so one is the NISM book. Whenever you enroll for the exam, you can download a workbook from there. It is a 216-page book. Please go through that book thoroughly. I think the reading will be completed in 3 to 4 hours in one go. But you can divide into two parts. You can go through other parts, and then social impact and case studies you can keep separate. Balance you can go in one go. It will be very easy and smooth. And second, if you want to do in two parts, then another 1 hour or 2 hours you should spend on the social impact and case studies. That is 30 marks question. Then there are three regulations: ICDR, LODR, and one more regulation is there, Alternative Investment Fund Regulations. These three regulations have been amended on 25th July 2022 to incorporate the relevant definitions or disclosure norms for the social stock exchange. And these all are given in the NSIM book, but NSIM book is not referring whether these are from the LODR or AIF or ICDR, right? And some things are missing in the NSIM book while they are narrating. So they have just given a concept in the book. But if you go through these regulations, these are not big. These are 5 pages regulations. You can go through them. AIF is the big one, 68 page. But just go through the amendment of 25th July 2022. There are only 7 or 8 amendments in that AI 68 pages. Just highlight those 25th July amendments and go through them relating to social impact and social enterprises, uh, or social stock exchanges. Those you have to social impact fund, that you have to read out. One accredited investor definition, that you have to read in the SEBI IF regulation. Only that is of relevance for this exam. Balance I think will not come. So we can just cut down. And this what is given in here, it is also might be given the piecemeal somewhere at one place or other in the NSM book. Some might be missing in the NSM book also. That's why one reading should go to all these regulations. Governing Council circular is only one page, and one mark question may come from this Governing Council circular also. That minimum number of Governing Council, whether it will be prior to seeking the approval or after the final approval. Just I'm giving the examples of the Governing Council. Then ICI also issued two very good. One is the social audit standard. This is priority B. So don't go in depth before exam. If you have time, suppose you have registered for 28th March or like that, then you can definitely go one reading. But you will see that it is one for all. You can immediately capture this. That the same concept is there, right? And this will helpful also to crack the case studies, to understand the case study, the social audit standards mainly. So if you have time, then you can go through this for a better preparation. Then SSC framework. Here also questions will come from this SSC framework also. So ICDR, LOD. Why I'm specifically mentioned these four agendas, that SSC framework, SSC SEBI regulation, ICDR, LODR, AIF. At one place you will get where you will get the minimum 10 to 15 marks questions in the exam. So with these 4 5 regulations, please go by heart, all the numbers, all the dates, all the timelines, all the disclosure requirements, You will find here. Like just one example I'm giving. In NISM book, they have given the annexers to the guidance note on ICDR, right? So in the exam, they will ask annexer one of the ICDR related to disclosures, true or false. So you will know only then when you read the ICDR. You will not know this when you read the NISM book. For the MCQ purpose, it is required to go through these regulations to understand the mind of the examiner. Then social audit standard framework. So this is also issued by the ICI. You have to go with this. So first you should complete all the others, which is the study for 6 to 7 hours. Then if you have the time, then go for the social audit standard, 16 standards issued by the ICI. Else these are not required. Please
Excuse
share.
me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Uh,
Yeah,
sir,
Rajni.
will which website will get the governing council circulars?
Yeah, governing council circular is available on the SEBI website. Just Google and type the governing council circular.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it is only one page circular, but one MCQ may be there from this, and this is not in the NISM book. So 8 documents you have to read. It will take 6 hours study. Underline those. I will come how to read. What is the approach to be there? But this is you have to first you have to read it. One go you have to read. Then your practical audit experience will come into the picture while giving the exam, because everything you cannot mug up. You can just take a sense what is going on. And your common and logical application on the MCQs like elimination technique, what is possible, what is not possible, ये उसमें था तो ये तो गलती है, ये होगा, so that is the common logical application. You have to question and attempt the questions on this. Now how to approach or how to prepare for the exam? So that is one plain reading highlighting with the keywords for all the study material, and make one liners. So suppose you have to for the 1 page or 3 page, just summarize and make 28, 30 one-liner page where you can see the different MCQs can be asked by the examiner. MCQ structure I want to share by giving the exam. It is a very new concept or new thing I have seen not in the valuation exam as well as IP exam. That in the MCQ, what they are giving the 2, 3 statements in the question itself. Suppose they are giving an example, which one is the true, whether the following are true or not, in respect of eligibility for the social auditor. So they will give the statement A, though they will put A that postgraduate with an experience of 2 years. And then they will say CMA with comma or any other person having the requisite qualification and certificates with relevant experience as specified by the SEBI. So they have given these 2 statements, and then they will give the 4 options. Option A only, A or B, A and B only B, none of the above. So in the questions, they are giving also none of the above and all of the above. Normally in the MCQs, we are not facing this none of the above and all of the above in the earlier exams. But in this exam, they are mentioning this all of the above and none of the above. So they can give 2 statements, they can give 3 statements, and almost 15 to 20 questions minimum out of this nature. So that confusion come in the mind, and there we need to read the para particularly. And concept should be clear to attempt those. Otherwise, don't attempt, leave it. 60 अपने आप हो जाएंगे, वैसे भी हो जाएंगे 60, पर गलत नहीं अटेम्प्ट करना. That is my suggestion. Then group discussion. Once you give the one play reading in 6 hours or 7 hours and make the one-liners, that will take 1 or 2 hours. Make it simultaneously while you are noting it. Underline it, highlight it, whatsoever. Share this with the group. What happens in the group when you read something, when you mention something, it is registered in your mind, number one. And when you are listening to me, so whatsoever I am telling to you, it will click in the mind easily when you give the exam. So कोई भी एक क्रैक आया, अरे हाँ इसमें 17 थे यूनाइटेड नेशंस में और नीति आयोग में 16 दिए हुए हैं सोशल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स. सो यू कैन इजीली अटेम्प्ट द क्वेश्चन. अदरवाइज वहां पे कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे यूनाइटेड नेशंस में था या एसडीजी में था, किस में था. एक क्वेश्चन आया कि स्टॉक एक्सचेंज को रेगुलेट करने के लिए जो पावर है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को, वो किसके पास है, कौन से एक्ट से मिली है. सो दे आर गिवन Securities Contract Regulation Act, and they are given Society Contracts Registration and Regulation Act. So both are the same. Now you know कि यार पढ़ा तो था सिक्योरिटीज वाला था, अब सिक्योरिटीज वाला था पर कौन सा था, रजिस्ट्री भी था उसमें, ये वर्ड था या नहीं था, दैट वी कैन डू व्हेन वी डिस्कस इट. That can easily we remember if we discuss or someone tell कि okay ऐसा भी हो सकता है. So if we prepare the MCQs, confuse others, or then we will get the more clarity. Then we have to discuss and share with others, and we have to understand the concept. So this is the approach for the exam preparation we need to make. I am over. Rest, if anyone has any doubt relating to the scope, relating to the prospects, future prospects of the social auditor, social stock exchange, we can discuss it freely. And in any exam preparation or approach you want to say, case study, obviously you have to go through the social audit standards as well as the case to understand how it is framed basically.
Yeah, thank you, Tyalsa, for the all insights, right? And first, congratulations that you
Thank
are
you,
one of the
Ritesh.
members who are been able to crack IP registered valuer and the social auditor,
Yeah,
right? And just want to understand the basically you have rightly said that these are the 6 things you have to do together. First, independently, and then sending it onto the basically network so that the other people will be aware of, and you should be having a revision and getting a clarity of the mind onto that side. And same thing, if you can put it some crux for us onto the case study, na, it will be really help because now you have deep experience of the auditing, deep experience of IP and the registered valuer, right? If you put something onto the case study, if I to have cracked say 5-10 marks, if
Yeah.
that strategy, if you can give it, it will be a great support for all of us.
Ritesh, you have very good raised a very good point, because out of the 3 case studies in my exam, I faced the issue in the case studies only. Very frankly speaking, right? So regarding the case studies, obviously leave the case studies for the end. Started my exam at 10 o'clock. If you know, if you understand whatsoever is the right answer, you will finish the exam by 10:35 or 10:45. All the questions except 15. So for 15 questions, you have the permutation, combination, application of mind. You have 1 hour left out. And then you have to think, yes, 70 हो गए या 75 हो गए हैं, whether I need to attempt it or not. That is the first. Now coming to the point that okay, we have to go for every mark. So social audit, the case studies given in the NSM material are good. They clear the concepts. What the case studies comes in, like they have the 3 points: reach, depth, and inclusion. They have given the weightage to each of them. So for the reach, they have given 2 numbers. Social auditor has given in the annual impact report 2 marks for the each of the reach, 3 marks for the outcome, and then they have given okay, अब ये बताओ इन्होंने 4 चीजें की हैं, give the number 10, 12, 14. Now you have to make their permutation combination. ये reach हो सकती है तो 2 2 और 4 और 4 16 हो गया, पर 16 की ऑप्शन है नहीं. So either we need to understand कि वो reach clear है या नहीं है, what is the definition of reach, what is the definition of depth, and what is the definition of inclusion. So if we know the concept, if the statement, and they will give the 4 statements in the question itself. So the major change in this that they are giving the first 4 statements in the question and then 4 options in the MCQ.
So these case studies are theoretical.
Theoretical, no practical.
Okay.
It's not practical. Only the practical thing that I told you is that they have given the weightage to the reach, depth, and inclusion. They have given the 4 statements. Percentage of the number workers joined, percentage is whether it is out reach or depth or the inclusion. What is this? So you have to number it. So I left it. Honestly, I didn't take a risk. I left the question, but this is how they are asking the social study.
Are there any minus marks?
Sorry?
Negative marking? Any negative marking?
There negative marking of
0.25.
25%, 0.25 for every wrong question.
Okay.
One good thing is that all the questions are of 1 mark. So
Okay.
Even case studies are also 1 mark.
Yeah, case studies are also 1 mark. So if 5
Under RV or IP, there are 2 marks for each question.
Yeah, there are 2 marks of each questions. So now here it is that if you don't know, then you will lose only 0.25. Otherwise, you will lose all the. If you don't know, then you will lose the 2 marks. So you have the more number of questions in the social audit.
Talji, if you can recollect the questions which you faced, can you please post them?
STT is collected by whom? Yeah, one more point I want to mention here. Just go through NSIM book for the income tax and the for these basic acts. The SCRA, the last two chapters. These are the 8 marks. And if you read those two chapters, I think you will get the 8 marks or minimum 6 marks out of that. And these are only 20 pages and known by everyone.
Other than NISM, what is to be read?
Sorry?
Other than NISM study material.
So yes, Yogesh, there are 3 regulations of SEBI: ICDR regulation, LODR regulation, Governing Council circular, and AIF regulation. Only amendments for the 25th July 2022. AIF regulation is 68 pages, so not need to go for 68 pages. Just concentrate on 25th July 22 examination amendments. So they and one definition of the accredited investors. So what is relevant for the social impact fund? That you have to read in the AIF. Rest we will leave out. Another SSC framework is there. So in the SSC framework, which is given on the 19th September 2022, they have also again compiled all the disclosure at one place. LODR disclosure IC, though this is a repetition. So you will find a lot of repetition. If you go through NISM, you will find कि okay यार ICDR हमने पढ़ लिया था, LODR पढ़ लिया था, but काफी चीजें LODR और ICDR में ऐसी हुई जो NISM में नहीं दी है. So if you go through carefully, you will highlight only those items which are not in the NISM material. Second, just correlate your regulation and note it down also on the NISM page. Okay, this is from the ICDR, because they are not mentioning, they are just giving the crux, this is to be disclosed, but they are not mentioning this is for the ICDR or LODR or Annexer 1 or Annexer 2 of the ICDR. So you just have to correlate all these things. You will find a lot of repetition in these 6 study materials. SSC framework, ICI, social audit framework, then 4 regulations and circular of the SAB and NIST. That is the study material. And then group discussion will help. Any other question?
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Yogesh, so these are the 6 points which I am not clear about. That whether we have to appear for the exams every 3 years for the social auditor, because certificate is valid for 3 years and it is mentioned that social auditor should be registered with the SRO and have a valid certificate from the NISM.
I think it should not be there, because like in other examinations, there is no requirement.
But in
It
other
will be
exam,
only
yeah.
renewal of that after 3 years, or maybe after every year. As far as the development sector is concerned, I have already asked 2-3 people.
Yeah.
But nobody is aware that what is meant by development, because there is no specific qualification with respect to the development or experience with respect to the development. Everybody is working in a development environment. So
Yeah.
like in all our professionals or everybody, I think since they are not blocking anybody from registration, so I think everybody is eligible from that angle.
Right.
As far as the social audit firm is written, so that again, there is a requirement that you can become social auditor if you have an experience of more than 3 years in the same line. I don't know how it will work out,
Yeah.
because
They
somewhere
mentioned, yeah.
they have mentioned that the 3 years experience is required to get this kind of social audits. And as far as the requirement of firm is there, I have read somewhere that only firms will be allowed, although the requirement for eligibility is only an individual.
No, the firm is allowed. That is in the MCQ also, and also in the study material. I can give a specific line that individual social auditor is not be eligible for the audit. It's a firm, but whether firm can be proprietorship or partnership. Like in state audit also, I think that I cannot sign it as a chartered accountant. I cannot send my individual name. I have to make my firm proprietorship firm first, and then I have to adopt the social state audit. Same thing will be, concept might be there, that my firm should be there. I have to empanel a firm.
Let it be a form of
Proprietorship firm can be there.
proprietorship or otherwise.
Yeah, and that firm can also employ auditor. It is not required
Correct.
that partner will be there. So that
Correct.
clarity I have, but I don't know whether it is individual proprietorship is allowed or not. That is
That
not
is
clear.
not yet clear.
Yeah.
Then
Then like
regulatory body of auditors like IBBI in valuation and IP. Regulatory body for this is SEBI.
right, but we are not registering the social auditor with SEBI. Like while after
No,
passing
we are
the
being, they have authorized the SROs. So SRO of ICWA, SRO of CA, SRO of ICSI, they are there. So you
like
have to got
valuation,
yourself registered with them.
like there are the 16 RBO, so we are not required to register with IBBI
So
for
that like
the
Institute of Chartered Accountants have already registered themselves as SRO. Then CMA also has got registered as SRO. So we have to make an application to the SRO for registration purpose.
no, right, but we will make the application to SRO. My point is, after making the application to SRO or the IIP, we have to go to the IBBI for the registration. So IBBI is issuing the certificate ultimately. So we have to empanel with the IBBI also for the
Quite
valuation.
possible,
Yeah,
quite possible, but it might be possible that SEBI might have authorized the SROs to take care of all these requirements.
yeah, because that's my only concern, that there should be central authority where all the database of the social auditor should be there. Otherwise, social auditor database will be with the different persons. Currently, valuer and the IPs have the one database with the IBBI. Under the
See, as
IBBI, they
far
have the
as
different RVO.
maybe that they might come out with some notification later
Yeah, maybe.
that
Yeah, that is not clear for me to me at
not
least.
yet clear, but
Yeah,
SEBI might, or I will ask the CMA Institute or CA Institute,
yeah,
they will give the clarity on this.
yes, yes. And this is the now clear that there is a CMA also and CS also
They have
have
already
issued.
done it, huh?
Done the that is the one. And experience for empanelment, how
I
they will
think it is
prefer.
written in that
So
material also, it is 3 years of experience.
3 years
I
I
don't know
didn't
how
find
it is
out.
going to be
Yeah,
counted now.
yeah, three
Because in the
years.
same sector, when it is started now, social audit is starting now. How
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you have an experience of 3 years in
Right,
social
right, right.
audit? I don't know.
Yogesh, you missed the my earlier first 5-10 minutes. The social audit is not the right now. Social audit is going for long back, and the concept is come in 73rd Amendment of the Constitution when Panchayati Raj came in. So all
Hmm.
the government schemes are subject to the social audit or by the social impact they are evaluating internally, but not it is organized or given a name. So that what I have read while going to the history of the social audit in India.
No,
Uh,
but who were doing the social audit earlier?
Social audit are done by they are appointing the outsource agencies, then they're giving them the benchmark. It's not a named as the social audit. It's the social impact or outcome they have to evaluate. So they are
So
giving the
that is being
consulting
normally
agencies.
done as is given in the material also that
नीति
once you
आयोग
do this.
या सो दे मेंशन नीति आयोग इसमें भी लिखा हुआ है डाइम और डोम क्या नाम है नीति आयोग की उसका हु इज मेजरिंग द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द स्कीम्स रन
For
बाय
that,
द गवर्नमेंट
like in the material, they have mentioned evaluators. So they might be doing that kind of an audit, but it may not be in the statutory format.
yeah, they have mentioned basically, yeah, not in the statute. There is no so one of the main objective of the ISI to make the uniform accounting and standardize the formats of the reporting.
Because social audit, nothing talks about the financial audit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, they
only
don't
about the social impact.
social impact, and that is in one material they have mentioned when they are discussing about the framework. So they have mentioned about the the IRI plus something like these for the international, and for the Indians
Hmm.
also they have mentioned these points. And
Hmm.
in Niti Ayog they have mentioned DIME is there, who is evaluating the impact for the government schemes. So concept is old, but is structured for the social stock exchanges that is new.
One of the questions given in the study material, there was a wrong answer given in the material itself.
No, which one is that? I'm not aware of.
Just a minute.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically it should be the listing funding. I agree, agree.
So this answer is wrong.
Yes, yes, yes. It will be the
Either the
listing
question
funding.
should
Yeah.
either the question is wrong or the answer is wrong.
No, this note should not be there.
Not should not be there. Yes.
Then answer will be correct.
Uh,
I observe that. I agree with you. But I suggest ki go for the regulations also. Governing council, there is one question, one page circular is there. I don't know whether you read it or not. That
No,
how
I've
many
not.
minimum, yeah. So how many minimum numbers of governing council is there? So I think this is not in the NISM study material. So there are 7 members are required for the governing council. 4 minimum meetings should be there. Who can appoint the governing council, whether it is prior to seeking of approval of SSC or not. Then I suggest to go for the SSC. It is a repetition, no doubt, but I suggest to go for all the 3 regulations of SEBI, this circular and framework of the SEBI, where they are clearly given the detailed, which is not in the NISM material also, or it may be there. There is a repetition, lot of repetition is there, but you know the source of in the NISM material, from where the NISM has picked the material, we know the source. Sometimes questions may ask, these are mentioned under which regulation? So if we know the source, we can recollect it immediately. Like some are applicable only on the this 91 regulation, which is the LODR. One is applicable only on the NPE, second is applicable on the listed NPO, third is applicable only on the for the profit organization. So if we read that LODR, we come to know in the study separately disclosure requirement, but in study material we got the confused. कहाँ पे क्या था? Thank you, everyone.